GWATA TV gives you a first look at North Central Washington's business news. You'll hear from our local business, tech, and education companies as Jenny discusses hot topics and current events with some of the best innovators and pioneers in North Central Washington.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, your host on GWATA TV. On today's episode of GWATA TV, I'll be interviewing a couple guests. We're going to be talking with the Port of Chelan County about some of their business development initiatives, including the new Kashmir mill site. We'll also be talking about Destination San Francisco Bay and what's going on at Pangborn Airport with plans to expand for the future. Please stay tuned and enjoy this episode of GWATA TV. Welcome back to GWATA TV. On today's episode, we're interviewing a couple folks. I want to start by introducing Craig Larsen, Business Development Director for the Port of Chelan County. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, well, the Port of Chelan County is a great advocate for GWATA, economic development, a lot of organizations in our community. But for the audience who may not be familiar, let's talk about what does the Port of Chelan County do?
Sure, you say the name port and people are kind of like, the ocean-going ships get up the Columbia River here, and the answer is no, they don't. There's a couple dams in the way. But port in Washington State just means Economic Development Agency. So we're the county-wide Economic Development Agency for Chelan County. Our goal is, simply put, more jobs, more private investment in Chelan County.
And your role as Business Development Director, what does that role mean specifically?
We have a pretty small crew at the port,
okay.
So it's pretty broad what I do. I do the marketing for the port, or I do most of the marketing, or head up the marketing, have a lot of help with that. But we also, I do sales, and it can be as, yesterday I met with a business owner in Chelan County. Got a great little company looking to grow and expand it, looking for more space. So it's helping companies that are here survive, grow, thrive, expand, and then also bringing companies from outside the area, either relocating in here or expanding into Chelan County. So that's the basic part of what I do, and I love my job.
Well, I know that you are a jack of all trades because I work closely with the port, but you've had some recent success in that bringing new companies over here. We wanted to talk about the I can't even use the right words, Subsplash, yes, and the technology incubator. So yes, let's talk a little bit about that development and your excitement for that project.
Sure, we're excited about Subsplash. Seattle area software development firm, been working with them for a year or two, and they were very excited about expanding over here, and we're looking for the right spot. They loved the Pybus market, and we love the Pybus market too, as we were part of that years ago. The port was in development of that. And when someone tells me, really want to be, within a 5 or 10 minute walk of Pybus, I love to hear that. And so looking for the spot for them, and we ended up partnering with Pybus Charitable Foundation to help them as they're raising funds for their annex to make improvements there, that we leased out the second floor of the office space there for a tech incubator. And it just so happens that Subsplash loved the space, and they're going to be our first tenant in the incubator. They're going to have 18-month lease, so we're going to get them over here, get them set up, and then we're going to push them out into some other space and bring someone else into that incubator. But 15 to 20 employees are going to be hosted in that space. A couple are moving over, but the vast majority will be employed from people here. Vast number will be new employees from Chelan and Douglas County.
And I know from working with the Subsplash team that they're actively hiring, so that's a great organization to check out. Subsplash, again, they're based in both Seattle and now Wenatchee, growing 15 to 20 jobs. That's an exciting success story for the Port of Chelan County with your first run at the tech incubator. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then what will the next part of the process look like when 18 months from now, will you be marketing out that space? Will it be attracting an outside company? What does the future of the tech incubator look like?
Well, we think Subsplash is going to be a great kind of first tenant to show how to do it, which is get them in, get them settled, move them out, and then bring someone else in. So probably what that means is 6 months or 9 months from now, all kind of on my target list will be technology company to use incubator when Subsplash time comes to an end. They'll be moving in here pretty soon, but just kind of that lead time takes a long time in recruitment sometimes, 6 months, a year, sometimes more. to get someone interested, yeah, they want to be here, get the pieces together to make the move. So we'll be working on that very soon. I will be with the marketing and my recruitment efforts going forward.
And in terms of business relocation and available space, business development, that's something that's always on the forefront of what the Port of Chelan County is doing. You're developing now a new project to house businesses out in Kashmir. So let's talk a little bit about the newest project for the port. What is the Kashmir Mill site?
It's the Kashmir Mill District.
Mill District.
It was a site. We've cleaned it up. We've got it ready. We're developing it.
That's exciting.
So it's a district. We are excited. So we are going to build 2 general purpose industrial buildings in Kashmir starting here soon. On the screen you can see a picture. This is what it could look like, kind of the architect's rendition of what it may look like. But a steel building, high ceiling. This is the front of the building, so it's got one dressed up entrance there on the left, roll-up doors in the back. Very focused on flexible space. It can be production, it can be warehouse, it can be internet fulfillment, it can be office, it can be lab, it could be a distillery or a brew pub, with some maybe retail components. So very flexible space. And one of the challenges we have in recruitment and expansion within the county is just limited commercial space that's available. There's just not much out there because the economy's been so strong. So this helps meet that need, and we're very excited about those buildings. And
let's pull up the another.
That's a site, the overhead of Kashmir. So it's going to show the 2 buildings we're building. The one will parallel Sunset Highway. Sunset Highway is on the top of that photo, and Mill Road's below that's about a 6-acre site we have there. So we'll have those 2 buildings in the first phase, and depending on demand, we could build that vacant space on the rest of the site. We can build one large building or a couple smaller ones.
Okay, so room to grow. And then here's a rendering of what that could look like built.
That's built out with all 4 buildings on there is what that potentially could look like, just to give people a feel for what it would look like. But it's a beautiful site, and we're very excited to get us a location that had one job on it when we bought the property 10, 12 years ago, that already with the Laos Trust Company back there has got 20 or 25. We're going to try to get to triple figures on this site over time with more than 100 employees there when you had one there when we got the site. And that's what we're all about, is jobs.
So Laos Trust is going to go into this location?
No, Laos Trust is behind it. They're behind Mill Road, so south of this site. They bought 3.5 acres from us, and they got construction up and running. They make trusses, expansion from the west side, and they're already operating, which is great. They're making trusses there. People are employed, and so we're very excited about their space. The building looks great, and we're going to build some other good-looking buildings out there too.
So if you're a business in North Central Washington or even across the state, variety of options at the Kashmir Mill District, variety of business types. What's the first starting point if a business is interested in what the port's doing? How do they reach you? What are some options?
Sure. Contact the Port of Chelan, which is Craig at CCPD is my email address, or give us a call. And it's just, tell me about your company. What do you need? What are you looking for? And our goal is to get that company into Chelan County. If our space is, typically we'll show them our space, we'll show them private space. We also have a great website, choosechelancounty.com, and it has information about locating in Chelan County. It's got every property that we can get listed, and it's a free listing, but the point is they can go on it, they can search it. I'm looking for office space or industrial space, 2,000 to 6,000 square feet, and every site that's listed will pop up, and they can look at pictures, look at the information. So it's a very helpful site, trying to make it easy for people to find a good location. Something like 90+% of relocation decisions, the research starts online these days. And so we're trying to have a stronger online presence so people can find us, see what we have to offer, and then contact us if they want more information.
Yeah, I would agree. Having a robust website with easy to access information just eliminates barriers, right? People don't want to get shut down the first time they go through a search. So I definitely recommend checking out choosechelancounty.com. It's a great resource. Another great resource that the port is hosting regularly are your industry meetings. So let's talk a little bit about the industry meetings and how businesses can connect with the port to provide feedback, insight, and help the port make great decisions, be great partners.
Yeah, thank you. We're trying to connect better with our business community, and we've picked out 4 industries that we focus on, which is technology, agriculture, manufacturing, and I knew I was going to miss one, outdoor recreation.
Okay.
How can I forget outdoor recreation? We also have a real estate group to address the kind of limited real estate supply we have, but each industry group meet a couple times a year, and we just pull the representatives together. We host the meeting. We're going now to short presentations to start off with someone in the industry. So our next outdoor recreation meeting, Mission Ridge will make a 10-minute presentation about their expansion plans. That helps kind of get things kicked off. And then it's what's going on in your industry, how can we help, who are key suppliers of yours that you'd like to see located in Chelan County, that you're using their products, or someone downstream, customers of yours that maybe could put in an assembly facility here. So trying to see what's going on in the industry, see what the trends are, and then figure out how we as a location for business activity can fit into that. So they've been very helpful meetings, and we, again, do this a couple times a year. If you're interested in any of those industries, if you're involved in that, contact us. We'll put you on the email list, and we'll invite you next time we have a meeting.
And I just want to say from the technology sector, I've really appreciated that the Port is organizing and hosting these quarterly luncheons, because even if there's not an immediate barrier a business is going through, to have an opportunity to connect with your peers, to share feedback, really the Port's resources are vast, and you're working a lot of initiatives that help the region. So I think providing that feedback, even if you're in a good place as a business owner, is really critical. So thank you for that work. We're going to talk about Pangborn Airport and destination fly San Francisco Bay in a minute, but it's time for a commercial break. So stay tuned. We're going to bring Trent Moyers on from Pangborn Airport and keep talking with Craig Larsen from the Port. Welcome back to GWATA TV. If you are just tuning in, we've been speaking with the Port of Chelan County about their initiatives to grow business in North Central Washington. And now we're joined with Trent Moyers from Pangborn Airport. You are the director there.
Yep.
Yes. Welcome, and thank you, Craig, for staying on board. Let's get the conversation started by telling me a little bit about Pangborn and your role at the airport.
Pangborn Airport is the commercial service airport for the region. It serves more than just Wenatchee, East Wenatchee. We have passengers that come down from the Okanagan area, from Quincy. We draw passengers from Kittitas County as well. So, like I said, it's a regional airport that serves the region. So my role there as the airport director, oversee the day-to-day operations as well as budget and staff, trying to promote and draw in additional service to new destinations. I'm very involved with that aspect of it as well. So, but the airport is it's a family there. We all help out and pitch in, whether it's emptying trash cans or trying to plow runways. Everybody pitches in and helps out. It's a small, tight-knit group, but it's an airport that's also open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So just because we go home at night doesn't mean that planes don't stop landing. So we have to make sure it's a safe and efficiently run airport.
And it's a huge asset for the community, both from a personal and business standpoint. Also, safety management, I think about in the summers when we have fires,
Yep.
right? They're all landing through Pangborn to go out and service other areas. And you work in terms of a relationship with the Port. Port's the operator for Pangborn Airport. So you and Craig have gotten to work really collaboratively on some of the new initiatives.
Right, yeah, the port is owned and operated by, the airport is owned and operated by both the Port of Chelan County and the Port of Douglas County. Port of Douglas manages the business park out there, and the Port of Chelan County is involved with the airside airport operations as well. So yeah, Craig and I have worked pretty closely over the last few years on marketing and promoting the airport, and we've seen those efforts actually bear fruit. We've seen the ridership go up. We've seen more enplanements. That's every passenger that gets on a plane is called an enplanement. And so that's been our goal, is how do we grow that ridership? It's a tough time in the industry from at regional airports where airports are losing service. There's not as many aircraft, not as many pilots to fly those aircraft. So anything we can do to retain or grow our service here, we aggressively go after those things.
And I hear that July was a very successful month for Pangborn Airport. Tell me a little bit more about
July
that.
it was a record-setting month. We've have never seen that many passengers get on board aircraft in any time of recorded history that we have out there. That goes back about 20 years or so that we have those numbers documented. The summer in general was very good. June, July, August was the best summer we've had as well. Last year we did about 15,000 passengers, and that was a good summer for us. This summer we've done about a little over 18,000 passengers that have got on board. So that's an even better summer. Alaska did add a 4th flight for the summer, and so we had more seats available, so more passengers had opportunities to use the service. One of the things that the airlines look at is this load factor. How many percent, what's the percentage of seats that are filled by paying passengers? And they want us to have 80%. That's a good number for them to say, if you can hit 80%, we'll look at adding more service. And so we were able to do that. That's been that effort I mentioned earlier, marketing the airport, get people to fly locally. So the airlines added that 4th flight, and we actually were able to put quite a few more people on the planes and get them where they want to go.
And word's still out on if the 4th flight's going to continue, but hopeful based on really positive numbers boarding out of Pangborn.
Right, and so now that we've tested that model and the airlines tried it, it's our job to go back to them and say, see, look, it did work. Let's see what we can do to get that 4th flight back again next year.
And Craig, tell us a little bit about the work that you've done to market the airport and why those numbers have driven up. What are some of the perks of flying out of Fly Wenatchee, flying out of Pangborn Airport?
Sure. I mean, there's several perks. The big one is just the hassle factor. It's a short drive. It's a pretty set drive. I know I can leave my house 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I'll be at Pangborn, and I can be there 45 minutes before the flight leaves, and I can check in, check my bag, get through security, and not have to worry about the uncertainties of driving to SeaTac or Spokane or somewhere else and TSA there. So easy experience there, and you know, the cost of flying out of Wenatchee, you know, just take a look at the cost. It's you know, Alaska prices us pretty aggressively, pretty good pricing for us. We're kind of a low-cost market for them, and that's been going down. So just our ask is just look at the option. Next time you're flying, I know a lot of people kind of have the routine, what they do. Look at the option. If the scheduling fits and the pricing's good, give it a shot, and you'll enjoy the experience.
Absolutely. My husband and I fly out of Pangborn Airport instead of driving over to SeaTac. Not only do you have to not do the 3-hour drive, but the parking fees. I mean, it's going to cost you, if you're taking a week's vacation, close to a couple $100 just to park your car on the west side, right? So you're right. It's really important when you're online shopping for flights to just do the price comparison and see what's happening out of Pangborn. Now, there's some exciting movement or potential movement ahead for Pangborn Airport as far as extending service. So let's talk through what are the plans to extend service at Pangborn, and where are we at in that process?
Go ahead, Trent.
I'm going to jump back just a little bit.
Sure.
To extend service, one of the things we needed to do was extend the runway. And so we went ahead and did that, took on a $30 million project to extend the runway because its length wasn't enough to accommodate the regional jet service that we were looking to be able to
attract. And I think we have some photos of.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We partnered with the FAA to extend the runway so that we can get those regional jet service to other destinations. That was the first step. And so without having done that, we wouldn't be where we are now, which is now going after that regional service to, right now we're promoting the Bay Area. And we were successful, to Craig's credit, in the Port of Chelan's efforts to raise funds locally to match a U.S. DOT grant of $750,000. Now we have a pot of over $1.1 million to draw from to attract an airline to provide service to the Bay Area. So we want that nonstop service to other cities. And this, now that we have that runway extension, now we can look at trying to get that service. Whereas before, to have those conversations with the airline, they weren't very fruitful because we didn't have the amenities that they needed, the length of runway beforehand. So now we're in a good position and can have those conversations. We've got money available to help them in taking that risk to come in here and provide service. That's the other thing that the airlines want is, does the local community, will they support this effort? If we bring an aircraft and a flight crew in there, are people going to get on the airplane? And so that $400,000 that was raised locally speaks volumes. It wasn't just one company that put that in. There were how many, Craig, did we?
90 plus contributors, large and small.
That's a huge benefit and a metric that the airlines look at. that this community supports and wants that air service. And so now we're in a position to have real conversations with airlines about getting that new service.
So there was a lot of foresight and planning and getting that runway extension. I mean, that was years in the making.
Yep.
So that foundation is set. We have the local financial commitment. Why was the Bay Area selected? I've heard that there's some stats about how many people are going down there already daily out of Pangborn, right?
Yeah, we've got good statistics about where people are flying currently. When this decision was made, Trent and I were there a couple of years ago about where to go, and it was, is it hub east of us, Denver or Salt Lake City, or is it the Bay Area? And the Bay Area was chosen, and I really think it was a way to join, the tech industry was a big part of it, and the Quincy. Quincy markets us as their airport for all the great data center, all the great development they've had down there. They really push Pangborn because that's what businesses want, get their people in, get them out quickly and easily. And so I think that was the choice. One of the main reasons for the choice was it helps us, it gets us a hub that goes to a lot of different places that people want to go. Most of our flyers are West Coast, Mountain West flyers, and the Bay Area's, depending where you go, it's got a lot of good connections throughout the region. And also that connection with the tech community and bringing it more regional, bringing Quincy and Grant County into the partnership that's going to grow this service. So that was, I think, the reason we chose it, but we're definitely looking for service to the east as well.
So starting with the San Francisco Bay, it's going to provide connections to the tech industry, keep our business community happy and successful, and then leisure, because so many additional destinations out of that market. What is the plan next? So for those in the community who are really eager, how is it the money being marketed? What's the plan to make that flight happen?
So the plan is that we will meet with those airlines face to face, discuss the funds that we now have available, present our vision for what we see. Whether is it once a day flights, come in at 6, leave at 7, or what just throw out those concepts and what we think would work. Talk to them the various airlines about what type of aircraft they see being suitable for that. Is it a 50-passenger airplane? Is it a 75-passenger airplane? What are the length of times to get in and out of those airports? And just have those real conversations that we really couldn't have before. And so I actually have meetings set up next month where we'll be meeting face to face with airlines and having those conversations. And hopefully we can, as a result of those meetings, get into a position where we can negotiate a contract. Say, all right, well, if you'll start service on X day and we have the X funds available, we can move forward and announce that we've got service starting next year. That's really our goal, is that late spring, early summer of 2019, we'd like to have that new service here. And we think we're in a good position to do it. So it's a matter of, does our schedule line up with what the airline schedule is as well? These things really don't typically happen overnight where an airline says, all right, yeah, this looks great, we'll start next week.
Right.
It takes a little bit of effort and planning on their part as well. And so, but now we're on their radar. Now they know we have those funds, we have an airport that can accommodate them. We're entertaining those calls from airlines as well.
Perfect. Well, we're nearing wrap-up time, so unfortunately I'm going to have to let you both go in a minute, but I want to thank you for the work that both the Port of Chelan County is doing and Port of Douglas County and promoting Pangborn Airport, Fly Wenatchee. As a kind of a call to action for support, it's to use the service, right? That's how we can all help.
That's what we've always said, is if you want more service, use what we have.
Okay.
And service begets service. We get service to the Bay Area. Hopefully next it's a service further east.
Perfect. Well, thank you both for being on GWATA TV. Thank you for tuning in. This episode will be available online so you can share the good news about Pangborn Airport and what's ahead for Fly Wenatchee. We'll see you next week.
Since 1999, GWATA has served as North Central Washington's Tech Alliance. As a 501c3, our mission is to bring people and technology resources together to create a thriving community. Through our work, we aim to inspire, engage, and connect.